Hello, my name's Katie and welcome to my shed. How the devil are you? You good? Fantastic. Really pleased to hear that. I'm doing something that I don't do. I just don't do. Full stop. I'm coming to my shed. It's, let me tell you the time. It's after 8 o'clock. And I'm normally in bed by now. But, you know, I don't know. You know that feeling you get when you've gone back to work after you've had some annual leave and you just feel like you need a treat, even though the annual leave was the treat. You know that feeling? Yeah, that's why I'm here, because I alluded to it, didn't I, the other day. I bought a little box from the Jackson sale, and I've also bought a couple of other bits which we've talked about. And I thought I'd show you them. Won't play with them tonight because I haven't got much time, but if I don't look at them now, it's going to be like 4 days before I can get in my shed properly to play. So I thought we'd look at them. So the first thing let's look at is the book. Now, if you didn't tune into last week's, what I was talking about was I'd watched a video by an artist called Caran, and she swatches her paints out and then stores them in a folder, but the folder is like a trading card folder. So I bought one of those. Now it holds something silly. I'm sure it was something silly like 900. Now let's have a little look together. So I went for this colour. They were £1 cheaper in black, but I did a pretty one. And I paid a little bit more because I wanted one with a ring binder style, because then I could take them out easier, or you know, if you wanted to reorganise them, I just thought that would be easier than if it was a fixed folder one, because then I'd end up having to pull them all out every time I wanted to reorganise them. I actually am not sure, it's not 900, but there's 9, so 18 on each one. It's on the back. Let's have a look. There's sunshine coming through the window. That's clearly the time of day I need to come in here. It's the only time of day I get daylight in here. So that was off of Amazon, and it was £15.99. There were some for around a tenner, but like I say, they were the ones where the inside bits were fixed. It holds 900. It's got 900 pockets. So that, I'm hoping will do me. My plan is to not just swatch out my watercolours, but to also swatch out my gouaches and my acrylics and maybe even my pencils. We'll see how we go. But definitely all my paints, so that I've got them, because at the moment you can't really see. I'll turn around in a minute. I have them up kind of on the wall, and then they curl and they're quite small. And it's not always that easy to move things around. Whereas what I like about this idea is you can take out different colours and lay them next to each other and see how they go together. So yeah, that's what this is. It is going to be a labour of love. It's not going to be a quick thing to do. And then I also got some blank cards. So I haven't looked at these. These are meant to be watercolour paper, but I don't think they will be good enough to swatch directly onto, and these were dirt cheap. I think it was like 100 for about £5. That's why I was thinking the quality is definitely not going to be. Comes in multiple packs like this. No, it's shiny, it's just card. So I won't swatch directly onto them, but they're the right size to go in here, and then I can swatch onto them, onto the watercolour paper, and just stick them on here. Okay, so that's that, and then let's get on to the fun bit, which is the Jackson's box. I bought these whilst the Jackson's watercolour sale was on. I'm hoping they have put the receipt in, but they don't normally, so I normally have to pull up my phone and get the receipt to let you know how much things were. I feel the need to say, I'm not here, I'm definitely not trying to get you guys to buy stuff that you can't afford. But I've been selling a few bits, and I had some, it's not spare cash, I had some cash which I could have used in another way, but I chose to spend it on this because I've sold a few of my prints. I've sold 3 of the swan prints. For those of you who haven't, go back and watch it, but it's a large mixed media painting that I did, and then I had that printed. So if you go back maybe a month or so, you'll see that. But I've sold 4 of those, so I had some money. And for me, I mean, I'm doing this just to keep reinvesting, and the idea is if I sell any art so that I can buy more toys. You know, I'm not currently not trying to pay my mortgage with it. If I was, I would probably keep that money in the bank. But I'm not. This is my hobby and it's a bit of fun. And also I don't spend money on anything else. As you will know if you've ever seen me dressed. I don't spend money on clothes and shoes, let's put it that way. Right, let's have a look at these. Now I feel like I've justified myself to you. I don't know why I need to do that because I'm sure none of you care. Get rid of that. I'm going to pull up my price list before we get too far into it because I always find it helpful to know how much people have spent on things, and some of these things were good prices. Right, we're just going to go from the top. So the first thing I bought was this pack of Lyra aqua brushes. Now I don't use brushes, I just don't use pens really. God, I'm such a liar. I mean, last week I was literally swatching out these. I don't see them as pens, but these ones, it's a pack of 6, 2 nibs, and they are watercolour or water soluble double tip pens. And I just thought the colours were nice, but also they were, go on, have a guess. How much do you reckon these cost? These 6 pens? Nope, less. Go on, go down a bit. They were £3.48. So I thought for that price it was worth a go. And actually, if you did watch my video last week where I was swatching out these big fat markers, we got these big fat markers. Look, the colours match. So that's interesting to me. So that was my first thing I bought. Right. It's a lucky dip. It's good fun. I do love that they put things in double boxes. It always just like adds to the suspense. Jackson's always packaged just really nicely, don't they? Okay. Did I buy that? I didn't think I'd bought this. Okay, fine. I bought, oh, it was in the sale, that was why it was in there. If you don't know, Jackson's have quite a good clearance section, and this is one of the Molotow One for All acrylic markers. Now I don't remember buying this because that's why I bought those cheap ones that we swatched out last week. I wonder if that was just sat in my basket and I'd forgotten about it, but this was £6 and most of their markers sit around £10, so that's still a lot of money for a purple marker, so I best use it. And these next two, I don't know when I'm going to use these, but I bought 2 Bistro chalk markers, jumbo ones. So these are not waterproof, these are erasable on whiteboards, light boards and other non-porous surfaces. But I'm going to ask you to guess the price again. Guess the price on these. They were too cheap, I had to take them. They were 20p each. So I'm not sure when I'm ever going to use those, but at 20p I thought that was worth a pop. And oh, and I've got a green Bistro chalk marker, which is also 20p. I think I'll probably end up just giving them to my daughter, or we could like draw on windows. That might be quite fun. Not in here, but maybe in the house. Draw on some windows and do some designs. Let's justify it. But yeah, they were just because they were so cheap buys. I don't actually know how I'm going to use them, but we might find that once they're on paper, we can work over the top of them. So we'll have a play with them. on Saturday when I get in here. Okay. This is the box of shame, because this is the box where you realise things that were quite expensive are very, very tiny. Right, first thing, this one is not a surprise to any of you that watched last week's video, but I bought the Schminky Perylene Violet paint. This is, well, was, it probably, by the time this video comes out, the sale probably will have ended, but it was £5.69. It is only tiny, I think it's a 5mm tube, yeah, 5mm tube. If you want to go back and watch last week's video, you'll see how beautiful the colour it is and why I bought it. If I could find a bit of paper down here, I can show you. It's this top colour here. It's just so rich and lovely that I tried it on a dot card, courtesy of Wendy. Wendy, you're a very bad influence, and I had to buy it. I didn't have to buy it. I probably would have lived if I hadn't bought it. Then there's a couple of other colours that we swatched out on there. I got the mahogany brown. That one was also £5.69. This is the mahogany brown here. Don't know how well that's showing in here because the lighting's a bit odd. And I got the olive green yellowish, which, I mean, you can guess which one that was. That one there. Okay, I've also I'm so naughty. It's a good job I have it's a good job that I have a job that pays me money to work, because this does not pay me money to work at all. I bought the deep sea green. That is that one there, which is just glorious. If you want to see my reaction to these when I first watched them out, do go back to last week's. And the forest blue, which is the one that was next to it, which is this one here. Those two were a little bit more, I think. They were £6.89. Just inside my invoice that I thought I'd taken out of my basket, but let's pretend. Oh, Katie. Right. Then this, I think this just shows that they're so good value. I did buy a Rosa Gallery Royal Blue. This is a 10mm tube, and it was £3.23, and that's just such good value. The reason I got this is my Royal Blue, which is here. It's a Roman small one, but my Roman small Royal Blue there is one of the first paints I've nearly run out of, and I really like that. And this one was about half the price, so I'm not sure it's going to be. It does look quite similar. We will swatch it out on Saturday, but I just thought, I know I love Rosa paints, and for half the price it was definitely worth a shot. And actually it's probably cheaper than half the price, because that would have been just for a pan, and more than a pan's worth of paint in there. And I bought four Neocolor IIs. Now, these were also on sale, and they were £1.79 each. And I've gone for colours that I haven't got already, but I also know that I'll love, but we will swatch these out together. I've gone for the golden ochre, because the ochre is one of my favourite colours of theirs. I use it all the time, and I just thought this one just looks a little bit different and might be nice. I've gone for cobalt blue, because it's that really nice light blue that I love, and I think that will go nicely with the Myosotis blue gouache that I use a lot of. What's going on with my hair? Sorry, why didn't anyone tell me? And then, okay, then I've gone for a Van Dyke brown, because I feel like I'm lacking some darks in my set, and I find that they're the colours I go for more often because I'm usually using them for little extra details. So I like the very darks and the very lights, and a lot of my mid-tone Neocolor IIs I'm not really touching. And I went for a sepia because I'm pretty sure I use it all the time. I'm so looking forward to swatching these out. I want to do it now, but I also need to go to bed because I've got to get up really early. There's only one more little box. I'm a little bit cross at what's in this box because I was sure I got this out of my basket, and I clearly didn't. So this is on me, and it's not something I need because, okay, basically what I was doing is the Perylene Violet, this one, oh, I'm just going to zoom in, this schminky one, which was, how much did I say that was? 5, come back, Katie. 5.69. I was looking for other colours that looked similar and put them in my basket. Thought I'd taken them out. Didn't, because they're on my invoice. So we're all set for that kind of colour. Let's hope when we swatch them out on Saturday they're really different to each other and very unique. But I'm pretty sure they won't be. So we've got a Rosa Gallery 10mm maroon brown for £3.23. I mean, they are such good value. PV29, no, yeah, PV29. This is not PV29. This one's PV23 and PBR25. So hopefully they'll be very, very different to each other. Which would, well, this is a very different colour. This doesn't look anything like the picture. I really don't need this. It's the Rosa Gallery Rose Quartz. In the swatch that they've got on Jackson's, it looks very similar to that Perylene Violet, but this doesn't. This looks very pink. Look, we're all set, aren't we? Who was it? It was last week I was saying, let's make swatch cards. I'm going to have enough paint to do that. Okay, so they were both £3.23. Real bargains. Right, and then we've got two more of the 20p paints. So we've got a pink, a different pink, two different pinks, very slightly different. But again, 20p, and a blue, 20p. This was in the sale, and you're going to say, Kate, you've still got yours. I have, but it's nearly run out. It's Kuretake Gansai Tambi in the Ultramarine Pale. I have almost run out of that. So while that was in the sale, thought I'd get that for £1.99. What should we go with next? Can't even see them on here. Maybe they were free. No, they're not. Okay, I got two acrylic gouaches, but I've only got the Holbein at the moment, and I find them a bit runny. So I just wanted to try a couple of other ones to see if, from a consistency point of view, if I preferred them. So I have got the Turner acrylic gouache in, what's this, sky blue. How many things I've got in this colour? I mean, we'll see when I swatch them all out, won't we? And pastel lemon. That looks lovely as well. And they're for working under. They were £3.19 each. And then there's one other thing, stroke a couple of other things in this little box. I was talking to I use the Neocolor IIs a lot, but usually for highlights and just a few extra marks, and I rarely mix them with water. So if you don't know, they're water soluble, so you can use them like a crayon, but also water them down and use them like paint. But I just wanted to try a couple of the Neoarts and see how that would work and if it would work differently or better. So I've just picked up 2 of those. So I've got the Neoart in raw umber and very exciting, shouldn't have done this one last because it's saving the most boring thing for last, white. So that's my little bundle of joy. Yeah. I'm going to have a lot of fun. This is giving me something fun to look forward to on Saturday. So I'm going to go in, get ready for bed, go to bed, work for a few days, and then I will look forward to seeing you on Saturday when we're going to try and work out what I'm going to do with 5 different chalk paints. We're going to convince ourselves that I needed another giant jumbo marker that I didn't need, and also convince myself that these 3 paints are so different to each other that I needed all 3 of them when I actually only meant to buy 1. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to see you in a couple of seconds. But first of all, I just have to get through 36 hours of work. So I will see you after that. Bye. Okay, I know I said I was going to come in at the weekend, but it's not the weekend. It's the next day. And I just kind of fancied coming in and doing it. I couldn't wait. I just wanted to play with the new toys. So I thought I'd come in today and we'd play with the new toys. But also I forgot that I was working the weekend and as such wasn't going to have much time. And I really do want to make a start on my new painting. So any time that I've got at the weekend, I want to be at least getting the groundworks down for that. So that's what I'm going to be working on at the weekend. So we're going to make a start on the swatching now, and it'll make me happy because I'll get to play. So let's turn you around and then play for a little bit. I did say I was going to show you my swatch cards. So these are my acrylic swatch cards and some of my watercolour ones are over here. And then I've also got a load in a book. So that's what we're going to replace when we do our cards. Now off camera I did shake up and prime the markers because they just take ages to pump to get them out, and quite frankly when I was editing last week's, when I was using those cheap markers, it just looked a little bit phallic, and so I didn't want to do that again. That being said, the ink is already split on this one, so let's start with this one. This is the Molitor one, which is, what was the colour called? Lilac pastel. There you go. So let's have a look and see if this is actually, it's dribbly. I was going to say, see if this is worth so much more than the other one. No, it is really dribbly, so I'm not loving that. Look at that, it's all sort of coming out in blobs. That's quite annoying. Definitely more opaque than the cheap ones from the other day. I'll show you in a minute once that's dried. And then we'll look at these chalk ones, and I'm quite interested to see whether or not I can work over these at all. So this one is a pink. I can't see a number on it. Oh, I like that. That is pretty lovely. It's not coming out brilliantly, but it's probably just where I haven't used it and pumped it properly. Yeah, I like that. Whether it's useful in any way, we're yet to learn. That one's proper neon as well, that's lovely. If these are useful, I'm going to have to go on and buy a load more, aren't I? Because I probably will never see them again. And the blue. And then the yellow. And they go down nice. Oh, and then we've got the green. which is the smaller like chisel knob. This kind of just feels like normal highlighter. The colours are excellent, aren't they? I'm going to let those dry before we kind of work over the top of them, if we can work over the top of them. And we'll do these acrylic gouaches next. So we've got the pastel lemon. It's already thicker than the Holbein, so that's a good thing. I love the colour set of Holbein gouaches, but their acrylic gouaches are so runny. That is a really nice colour. I think I would be using that a lot. Yeah, that's lovely. And this one is the sky blue, which is very much a Katie colour. Just watered that one down a little bit too much. Brush is a little bit soft. Oh, I forgot. So this one is actually part of the Japanesque range, and this one is part of the just pastel range. So let's see. But I love those colours. I think I'm going to do the pens next. I haven't got a clue how to use these sorts of pens. So again, very much like the colour set. Let's see how they work. So we've got, oh my goody aunt, brush nib there, and then like just a normal pen end there. I mean, it's quite nice. I just don't know when I'm going to use it. Are these the ones that you can get a clean brush? You can like wet a brush and then lift a bit of the colour off. Maybe not. That's deeply unsuccessful, isn't it? I thought you could do that. Okay, maybe not. That's a bit underwhelming, isn't it? This is, I quite like the colours, and I quite like the layering of the colours. But the whole watercolourness is a bit nothingy. I mean, you can very, very slightly lift it and move it around, but I'm sure I could do that with a normal felt tip pen. So, I mean, the colours are nice for felt pens. I don't know that I'll be using them as watercolour pens. And maybe that's not what I thought, but it does read like you should be able to. I mean, it actually says you should be able to, but my attempt was a little bit poor, shall we say. I probably don't need to swatch that out. We've got the colour, you've seen it out. I don't really want to start a brand new one, so I'm going to put that one away. I'm not going to re-swatch out the ones I did last week because you've already seen them be done, and probably a bit of a waste of your time. I am going to reuse the Perylene Violet because I want to compare it to those other ones I bought, but if you want to see these colours be swatched out, just watch last week's because I did it there. Okay, let's start with the Royal Blue. I might do a little compare, get rid of the hair, little compare and contrast with, a bit heavy there, the Royal Blue. That's lovely. Now I know a lot of you don't like the opaque watercolours, but I do. I mean, not in every context, but yeah, that's really nice. I don't know how many times I can say it. These Rosa Galleries are just such good value. So the pigments in that PB29, PW6, PW4, and 3 stars light fastness, so 50-50. And I'm just going to grab the Roman Schmall Royal Blue. Don't have the pigment details here, so can't really tell you much about that. But it does take a long while an age to loosen up in the pan, so it might just take me a minute. As you can tell, I do really like this colour, but they're not cheap. Well, this one's a bit more purple than this one. This one's, so they're definitely not the same colour. It's a shame. I mean, obviously I like them both, and I do like this colour, but it's not the same as this one. But I can't be going to buy another one. This one's definitely more lilac, which is good because I like that sort of colour. And now is the time we need to convince me that it wasn't an accident that I bought those 2 paints, and that actually they're super different to this Perylene Violet. That is probably, let me think, about 4 times the price. Yeah, it is, because it's about twice the price and half the tube size. So should we go with the one that is the most similar first, which is the maroon brown? Oh, look, it's so different. Thank goodness I bought them both. It doesn't, I mean, here it actually looks a lot more pigmented than that one. But as you dilute it, you definitely, I mean, it's very similar, isn't it? Hey ho. At least when I'm trying to be fancy with you guys, I can use the schminky one, and the rest of the time I'll use the Rosa Gallery. And then we've got the Rose Quartz, which has got to be really different if that one isn't. Oh my goodness, not at all. It's just like an opaque version. Oh, it is a bit different. It's a lovely colour, but it's really not. As you dilute it, it gets pinker, doesn't it? That's nice. Tell you what that does remind me of? The gouache, peony gouache. Let's pull this out because I like mixing, matching similar colours, but in different mediums. This might be a little bit more purple. Yeah, it's a bit more purple. Quite a lot more purple actually. So that's okay. You know what's that? I'm not going to do that because I'm trying to save some time. Okay, I mean, look how different they all are. These two are pretty much identical though, aren't they? It's a little bit annoying. I don't think there's anything I can say other than it's a little bit annoying and I should have learnt my lesson. Right, let's feel. I mean, it's not coming off on my. Oh, yes, it is coming off on my fingers a little bit. What shall we work over the top of them with? Should we go with this one, seeing as it's out? Let's see how well we can work over the top of these with some watercolour. So that, these are the ones where we're not really sure what's going to happen. It's not, doesn't seem to be lifting though, does it, look, underneath? So that's quite cool. Got a bit heavy here. Dum, 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 dum. Right, you can see here is lifting because that's going lighter. Yeah, it's bringing a little bit of the colour up. Okay, I guess we just need to be a little bit more cautious with it, but it hasn't lifted completely, but it's almost like the chalkiness is coming off. But that might be quite a fun thing to work with once I've got my head around how it would work. Okay, and then we've got the Neocolor IIs. I haven't left myself a lot of space. Can you see down the bottom? You can, can't you? So this one is the blue cobalt. It's not good with the chalks. These ones it's okay with. But the chalks, yeah, you can see it's lifting onto the end of the crayon. So we won't use it with those. This colour is lovely. Yeah, I like that one a lot. It's not that different to the ochre that I've got, but it's a little bit darker. So this is the ochre. Yeah, it's just a little bit darker compared to the sort of goldenness of the golden ochre. Funny that. Do you know what? I don't think I should do videos after work. I'm even more sarky and snarky than I am normally. Yeah, I really like that colour. I don't wet them very often, as I said earlier, but I still like to test them when I think I prefer the normal ochre once it's been wet to the golden ochre. It kind of goes a bit, yeah. And then we've got the sepia. I'm running out of space, aren't I? Yeah, I was just wondering if it was just the light ones, but all of them really. And that's a bit boring once it's wet, isn't it? And then, hang on, did I just do this? Which one did I just do? That wasn't the sepia, that was the Van Dyke brown. This one's the sepia. What do I know? That, yeah, it's better. It's a bit darker, isn't it? I mean, that still goes a bit chalky, kind of, once it's wet. I mean, they're lovely, aren't they? You can't go wrong with the Neocolor IIs. And then I've got the Neocolor I. No, not what they're called, Neoarts. Just two of them, and this is brand new product for me. So they are a wax-based oil pastel, so they do apparently dry, whereas the oil pastels don't really dry in the same way. So I've only got this tiny space here, sorry. They're quite hard. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know if you can see the white on there, but we will go over some of these. That still comes off a bit, the chalk stove. A little bit less so. I've got a soft pencil. Let's see what. So you can work over it in pencil. Not that one though. That's interesting, isn't it? It's still wet. No. Okay, they're a bit hit and miss, and it comes off on your finger. I am sure I'll be able to come up with a use for them. I'm just not sure what that is just yet. Now these, how light are you? I'll put the lights on. Now these have dried, there's really minimal in it. I do really like that. Just a little bit gutted, it's not quite that. So I'm going to quickly grab some oil pastels. I've got some somewhere. With my Cray-Pass ones, let's just grab any one. Yeah, that's not, does not like that, does it? Nope. Can you tell I am desperate to make these work because well, I just want to. I've only got this grey one. This is, see, that's probably better because they're both chalk based, aren't they? Still a bit hit and miss. Sorry, I'm stroking that because I'd heard the Japanese ones had a bit of a tooth to them. Doesn't really feel particularly toothy. Is that everything I can try on them? It's not lifting loads up though, is it? Look. It's only kind of lifting a bit. That one, a bit more. Seems to be taking the paper off there. Okay, I don't want to say it's a fail. But it's definitely not. It's not a win, is it? It's not quite what I had in mind. I don't really know what I had in mind. Right, I need to stop. I'm fapping. What do we think? I think I didn't need to buy two of these. Definitely didn't really. I mean, I don't have anything that colour, but didn't need to buy it anyway. She says, I'm just going to check I don't have anything that colour. I don't really. I think the closest I've got is Rosa Madder Red. That's not the same at all. Where am I going to put it? No, that's definitely redder red than that one. So it's fine. We will have a use for it. Just a bit cross that I've bought paints I didn't need. We could argue I didn't need any of them, couldn't we? Oh, this one, I like that. I like how that's gone down. I might just quickly turn over to yesterday, Saturday. Just lay it down next to the, where is it? Next to these, so I can look at the colour difference. I don't like that look. It's all in the lid. There's loads of it. It's a little bit more opaque. I don't think it's opaque enough to justify the price difference, because if you think for this I could have bought a packet and a half of those other ones. So, but it's nice if I can stop it running. Okay, so that was a bit of a fun play session for the evening. I don't know what I'm going to do for the thumbnail, because this is a right mess. I mean, it will be this, because that's what it'll be. But yeah, a bit of a mess. I don't know that I've got anything else to say that I haven't said while you were up the other way, but I do really like this colour. I'm a little bit gutted it's not closer to the Roman Small one, but I will use it interchangeably, and I don't suppose my art will suffer for it. Really like the colours of these, but cannot work out yet how I'm going to use them and work with them. I might lay some down today and let them dry thoroughly and come back to them at the weekend and just see if they've like set or anything. Like this, don't think it's worth the money compared to those cheap ones, other than it does feel a bit like it's got more ink in it, so it might last longer and then will earn its keep. Love both of these acrylic gouaches. Love the watercolours I've got, but did not need them. And I'm pleased with the Neocolors, pleased with the Neoarts. Need to work out again how they are going to work. What I'm going to do with them. I just need to remember that I've got them. There's sometimes when I'm doing mixed media work that I need something a bit harder to go over the top. Miss is in here, and I think that's when they will come into play. Oh, what a mess. That was everything, wasn't it? That's everything. Let me know in the chat, did you buy anything in the watercolour sale? And if so, oh, I forgot to mention these. These, I would say, are a bit of a fail. Nice coloured pens, can't get them to move. I might try them on some watercolour paper. They might move a bit more then, because sometimes on this sketchbook that I use for swatching out, I know that paints don't and things don't always work in the same way, so I might try those out on some watercolour paper, and I'll let you know how I get on with them. Yeah, let me know if you bought anything in the Jackson's watercolour sale. Let me know what it was, because I'm nosy, and yeah, I like to know what other people have been buying. If you want to make me feel good about myself, just let me know how different. Just say, oh wow, they're so different. You definitely needed to accidentally buy the Rosa Gallery as well as the Schminky one. Doofus. Anyway, that being said, I hope you have a lovely week. This is actually going to be a little midweek extra one, because otherwise I'm going to be way ahead of my time, and the one I'm doing, you know, I'll be like Christmas, doing these, it'll be somewhere outside and you'll be seeing them at Christmas. So I'll put this one in at the weekend. Also, I know that I've been doing a lot of swatching and not everyone wants to see those. So this will be a midweek one, and then hopefully we'll have the painting one out afterwards. So have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Bye.